Hi, welcome to Creating Kind Video!
Hello and welcome. I'm Jenny Hall. Thanks for joining me for another Creating Kindness Design Team video hop. This month, the design team is creating Bendy card tutorials. We have lots of ideas to share for you, so be sure to click the link in the video description on the very top line, and that will get you to all of my friends' beautiful projects. You'll get lots of ideas for lots of occasions. I'm creating my project with a Forever Lovely bundle. It's 10% off in my online Stampin' Up! Store. I'm also going to use some of the coordinating designer series paper. The card base is a standard A2 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 card base made from Crumb Cake. There's a very, very pretty die in this die set. It performs in two different ways. The first way, when we run it through the Big Shot, it will cut away the paper, but it won't cut the images away from the actual negative space. This will allow you to give like a lacy look to a project without cutting the flowers away. There's also a line die that goes right around the outside edge of the cut images, and it allows the image to be cut away from the paper on one side. You could call this an edgelet, but it's a really beautiful die that can be used in many different ways. I'm going to use this panel as one of the flaps for the Bendy card. So in order to attach it to the card base, I'll create a flap that is scored at 1/2 inch. The theme for my card is Valentine's Day, and there is a really beautiful set of stitched hearts in this particular suite. They're very gorgeous. So I've got die cut a few of those, and I'm going to attach it to a scored flap that also has a 1/2 inch score mark. I find that tear and tape is the best way for me to adhere something that needs to really stay put onto a handmade card project. So tear and tape works the best for me. I apply it down to the flap and then remove the release paper and attach it to the back side of the card front. So this will allow the two arms to swing away from the card front. So we now have the bare bones of our Bendy card. We just have to work out all of the fine details and how it's going to attach to our project. I have the idea of creating a freestanding heart as part of the Bendy arm on the right hand side. So I'm using these really cool dies, and they work together in a very fun way. When cutting out this one single heart, it leaves two different die cuts. It die cuts a scallop and a negative space. So to hold them together, I'm using Stampin' Dimensionals, and they are double-sided foam adhesive. It's going to cover the area where the two pieces of paper connect, and that way they will hold together very well. Now it's time to create the point where it makes the flap on each side into a bend. Thus they call it a Bendy card. So what I need to do is to create some sort of a point, and it can be done just with the scissors, and determine the area that it will connect to the card. I like to use my Stampin' Trimmer for this because it can cut just a small area. So you can see here a very simple point in the paper will create enough to stick into the card front. And now I'm going to adhere the heart, and that will allow me to know exactly where it's going to be when it's in the bendy position. So I have the right bendy arm all ready to go. I have it in place, and that will allow me to connect the left bendy arm onto the right bendy flap. In my version of the bendy card, one arm connects to the card base and the other arm connects to the other flap on the opposite side. And this is an easy way to be able to do it, is just create a few little points, make it into a connector, and it's just that simple. But a bendy card needs to have a few things you can think about ahead of time, such as making sure that each arm, when it lays flat and is going in the envelope, is not going to extend past the edge of the card itself, because we want it to go in the mail. I'm going to stamp a greeting on the left-sided bendy arm with Crumb Cake. I started to say ice cream, but I don't know why, with Crumb Cake stamp pad. And this is going to connect into the other bendy arm when it's in place. Very simple. Creating a bendy card can be a little intimidating, but it really does give a little something extra to your project. Creating it in this way allows you to still have room on the inside of the card. Thank you all so much for joining me for this video tutorial. Please be sure to visit my friends on the top line of my video description. Click that link and it'll get you over there to their projects. And then you can click through the rest of the video hop from there. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I'll see you next time.
Hi, my name is Trip. Thanks for watching the video. See you next time.